Today we're drawing that machine only designed for killing. That's right, it's our good boy Modok. Hello, my name is Patrick, I'm an artist, and today I decided to just take some time and draw a fun picture. Now this picture of Modok took me about an hour to do, and I wanted to draw this guy because truth is, I love Modok. He's a weirdo, and he's a delight. He's one of those characters that can be absolutely terrifying in one light and incredibly stupid in the other. It's the sweet spot of what makes, I think, comics super fun as well as super serious. And one of the things that makes this character so great is that I could somehow be both at the same time, and so I decided to jump in here and draw a fun version of Modok in my own sort of style. I even like the Modok from Ant-Man. He makes me laugh so much. Ant-Man Quantumania, the Modok in that is incredibly stupid, but it fills me with so much joy every time I see it on screen, and I just absolutely love it. So you can see me here working on this Modok, trying to get a sense of my own style of Modok. Obviously, I went with something a little bit more cartoony, heavily inspired by the works of Scotty Young, someone whose work I am reading a lot right now and just loving. I Hate Fairy Tale Land, and he does a bunch of baby style X-Men and Marvel characters, and there's a lot to appreciate about his style, and so there's a bit of that in here. There's also a bit of Dan Hipp, who I've just been living my best life watching those beautiful pieces that they make. You should check out their work. It's incredible. Beyond that, this is really just a matter of trying to find a version of Modok that I'm happy with today. And for that, I think I want to talk a little bit about style and finding, your own style. It's not something that's super easy to do. And it's not something that I really set out to do when I started drawing pictures. I just wanted to draw pictures and have fun. It's what I think is still most important. And yet I have managed somewhere along the way to find my own version of style. And here's the thing about style that I think is most important. Style is a matter of personal expression. There is no wrong when it comes to style. There is weird and wonderful and wacky and strange, but there's no wrong. And so when you sit down to make your own style or try to get towards your own style, I think you want to find a place where you can be happy trying to express yourself in new ways. Working towards that version of your own art that makes you happy, not some ideal in your brain that needs to be perfect. And so the truth is, to develop your own style, there's really only one thing you can do. You can try and try some more. Draw some pictures, give it a shot, see what it looks like, and keep going from there. I've drawn a couple Modoks before, and this is my favorite I've done so far. They all evoke similar vibes, but this one hit a style that really speaks to my current sort of forms of expression. It makes me incredibly happy. And that leads really to the second really most important thing about style. You try and try some more, but there is no easy way to develop your own style. You can't just magic your way to, this is what my art is going to look like. And it means that you got to try some more. It's the same advice as before, but the truth is that sometimes when we sit down to do art, we want to arrive at perfection day one. And with style, it takes time to find a style that works for you. A good example is the teeth I'm working on right here. I changed my mind after drawing the sketch and thought maybe big teeth would look great. And as soon as I did it, I was like, nope, this isn't actually what I want for these teeth. And I think I ultimately make them a little bit bigger or smaller. Maybe I keep them like this. But that's the thing with style. You just don't know what the end result's going to be until you start giving it a try. Yeah, it looks like I keep the teeth this way. So much for that point. This is a good time to note that I'm just a small creator here. I'm an artist who likes to draw comics and likes to have fun with art. And even I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, speaking of style, I think there's another important idea that you don't have to have just one style that's your own. I like drawing very stupid pictures with very silly, over-embellished shapes, like this Modok. I also like drawing very serious pictures that have a very different art feel to them. There is similarity between every brush stroke of the pen that I use, but There is lots of room to try new styles, to learn from other artists, and to experiment with your work so that it becomes, not just the same thing over and over again, but dramatically shifted over time, and, it becomes its own weird and wonderful thing. So, to that end, when I think about how I came about with my own style, you can see here I'm putting shorts on Modok because I thought that was very fun. How do you get there? I think one thing is to be influenced by the things that you love. Like, take stock of the movies you've enjoyed, of the other comics or other art styles that you've enjoyed, and just be influenced by them. Do homages to them, and try to recreate the things you like about them, and do that a lot until the point that you feel like maybe you can push it in different ways or express it in different ways. And you'll find over time that you'll be influenced towards things that you like, and in doing so you will slowly nudge yourself towards a style that is your own. I think another great thing to do is to try things you've never tried. Have you ever tried painting? Or even just digital painting? Give it a shot. See what happens. It can be a beautiful disaster, but it doesn't matter because you will start to learn things about what you like and don't like, or how things are made and how things aren't made. And in doing that, it'll expose your tastes to more. I was learning and thinking a little while ago about the idea that we get a lot of our feed given to us by an algorithm, right? Our YouTube videos feed through an algorithm, our Instagram feeds or other like Reddit feeds get algorithmized to the point that a lot of our influences can be drawn from one pure source. So I started watching horror movies. I don't watch a lot of horror movies, and I never have, but I've gone back and watched a bunch of classic horrors just to expose myself to an art style and a way of thinking about character and story that is so different than my norm, largely because it exposes me to new ideas. And you may not see that ever in my work, but I know in my heart that I've learned a lot from watching them. Things that I probably won't ever be able to articulate well. The last thing, and I think this is super important, is don't be afraid to learn by doing and attribute the artists that make you you. So as I said at the beginning of this is largely inspired by the works of Scotty Young and by Dan Hipp, two artists that I have become enamored with in the last year of my life. I've been reading a bunch of their work and looking at a bunch of their work and just really loving big parts of it. And so when it sat down to do this Modok, I didn't want to do exactly like their work, but I wanted to be inspired by it. I can feel the things in this piece that feel like it comes from there, but I also can feel my own things in it as I've drawn this from my own mind with my own pen, my own sketches. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to try to draw like somebody else or be influenced by somebody else. But if you do feel like you've been heavily influenced, or you have done something that is like one-to-one, I tried to make a version of this that matches the work of another artist, just say it. Say, yeah, I drew this, it was my own drawing, but I did it in the style of somebody else because I was trying to learn. And be honest about that. And by exposing yourself in that way to that work, to try to replicate in that way, you learn a lot. And again, all of this comes down to this idea of learning. Spending the time to draw, to practice, to do things, to create, so that you can find a version of yourself, a style for yourself that makes you happy. And I think that happiness is what it's all about. I suppose the last thing, which I often and always say, is don't take yourself too seriously as an artist. There is no great seriousness to the work that you do. You might make a difference to somebody's life, and that is very serious. And the work that you do matters. That's very serious. But the actual results matter less than the joy that you bring yourself and others. And so dive into that joy. Find the spaces where you're happy with what you do. And just, have some fun. This Modok is almost done. I've been rambling for, a huge portion of this time. And we're just getting ready to wrap up here with some highlights, I think. You can see me doing a little bit of a test, a saturation layer, just to see what our contrasts are like, so that our Modok can, really stand out from itself and not get too muddied. And we're going in here with some highlights just to wrap things up a little bit. I really like this Modok and shorts vibe with the really bad nerd haircut from the 90s, almost bowl cut look. It puts a smile on my face. I hope it does on yours too. We'll get the last of the highlights in here, and we'll be ready to share with you the final version of our lovely, lovely Modok. And that is going to be it for our Modok today. Thank you so much for joining me. This conversation around style is a complicated thing, and one that I have never really put into practice for myself until I started drawing a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts on style, how you make style, what helped you develop your own style if you've done that. It's super cool. Again, thank you so much for joining me. It was fun drawing some pictures today and just focusing on making some art that made me happy. I hope it makes you happy too. If you have other things you'd love to see me draw or maybe talk about when it comes to art, let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to share whatever limited insights I have. For now, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, till next time, keep being awesome. Bye.